Hey everyone, so just wanted to touch on a article that was actually posted today with regards to some LG OLED TVs manufactured between 2016, February 2016 to be specific, and September 2019 that have actually been put forward for a mandatory recall or voluntary recall with regards to a overheating issue. Now, the article does make it clear straight away that this is actually with regards to the South Korea market, and further down the article it does also list some of the supposedly affected models. So what I'll do is I'll just skim through those. So basically the early E6s, so 65-inch E6, the G6, the G6 77-inch, going into 2016, the B7, C7, E7, G7, and W7, as well as the 77-inch G7, W7. From 2017, it was the 65-inch G8, the 65-inch W8, the OLED 77 C8, and the W8 77-inch as well. And for 2018, it's got listed as the 65-inch W9, the 77-inch B9, the 77-inch C9, and the 77-inch W9. Now, interestingly, it doesn't actually have the 65-inch C9 listed, which is one of the most popular ones in Europe and basically in the UK where I'm from. However, obviously further down the article it does also go on to reiterate that this at the moment is something that LG have voluntarily done, so they've not been forced to actually perform these particular repairs, and it's something that they're actually reaching out to customers voluntarily, obviously putting out the feeler there via articles such as this one in Forbes, and basically just letting customers know that obviously there is this particular recall that you can have done for free. Now, before people start worrying, firstly, production methods obviously do vary from place to place. So as we know from the smartphone market, Androids and also iPhones down the lines as well have had different components within the same phone. So for example, Samsung phones will have different chips inside of them, be it a Snapdragon or an Exynos, depending on which region they're actually going to. So it's not necessarily that they're developed in a certain country and manufactured in a certain country. It depends where they're actually being sold to. And similarly, Apple actually had a similar thing where the chipsets were actually different, even though the specs were identical. I believe it was the TSMC and I think it was actually Samsung, one of the manufacturers. I can't remember exactly who the other manufacturer was of. I think it was the A11s or A12 chips that were actually inside those phones, and it was a similar thing. Depending on which one you got, one was actually more powerful than the other. So yeah, the manufacturing components can differ depending on which region these particular TVs are going to, and so far obviously LG have been clear in the sense that they've made it very clear that this only affects the South Korea market. However, having said that, they haven't confirmed that all of the other markets are okay. So possibly it may affect some other regions, Europe, America, Canada, all of these kind of places. It may affect those regions, but at the moment what they've officially stated, the only thing that they've officially stated is the fact that they're investigating. They've not confirmed yes or no, but at the moment they've confirmed that yes, the South Korea market is affected, and obviously they've gone out of their way to actually reach out to people and make them aware of that recall. Now, the actual problem itself, thankfully for those that are affected, isn't anything to do with the panel itself. It's obviously to do with the components within it. And if I just scroll back up, there was a small section. Yeah, so the repair involves replacing power boards that have the potential to suffer what LG refers to as current overflow as they degrade over time. So obviously this is mainly going to be older, primarily the older models, but as you can see, some of the 2019 models would have been affected as well. Interestingly, it only affects certain size groups. Obviously, they say none of the 55-inch models are actually affected. And as you can see from that particular list, the 65-inch C9, which is the one that I have and most people that I've spoken to and communicate with over the internet, via social media and all the other platforms, generally tend to be 65-inch C9s, or the 65-inch B9s. Now the 65-inch B9 is not also listed either, but as I say, components within them, seeing as it's not the panel itself and it's more to do with the components contained within the TV, anybody who's seen one of the repairs done on these particular TVs when it comes to swapping out a panel, the guts, if you like, of these, most of the OLED TVs, that's actually contained just in that bottom section that kicks out on the back of the TVs. It can normally be swapped over quite easily, and it's generally just a few plugs that are actually connected to the screen, so it is quite an easy repair job. Obviously, if they opt to change the whole motherboard, or whether they do a more localized repair, will depend on them. For the most part, obviously remanufacturing the whole motherboards would obviously cost them a lot more, so they may opt to actually just repair the certain components that are actually faulty or potentially could be faulty. But either way, it's not as though it's a massive job, and I think most people will be reassured by the fact that it's nothing to do with the panel itself, and more to do with the fact that the current flow and regulating the current through various components within the TV is something that obviously any piece of tech can suffer from, that blown resistor, something like that. So that's just something that risk is inherent with every type of tech out there. We've seen smartphones down the years where the battery expands, or they just catch fire randomly overnight. I'm not referring to the Note series, which was more down to the battery itself, but other smartphones as well. We've seen iPhones down the years where they're just on charge and basically they'll just catch fire even without the battery expanding. So it is something that is inherent within any type of tech out there. Any type of electrical tech out there has the potential to have components that can fail, but usually that risk is so small that you may only get 1 or 2 units out of, say, 1 million that actually fail, and because of that, obviously it just goes completely under the radar. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick chat about this, just because of the fact that a lot of people may see this and may jump on it. I'm guessing some of the other YouTubers, I can almost guarantee that Quantum will be on this instantly, and he'll be posting videos about, yeah, stay away from LG, they'll burn your house down, and everything else, everything that he can come up with to bash LG, because he just loves bashing LG. But yeah, I'm guessing there will be a lot of YouTubers that will jump on the bandwagon just to knock them initially, and then maybe later they'll come back with another video and basically point out the fact that, yeah, it probably wasn't as big of a deal as initially made out. But for anybody who is affected by one of these particular models, because obviously this is YouTube and this is worldwide, I'd suggest just reaching out to initially your retailer, but obviously you can also always just reach out to LG directly as well. Seeing as this is a manufacturer repair, you should be able to do that quite easily just by giving them your product details, essentially, so your serial number, all of that kind of stuff, and they should be able to pull up the relevant details in terms of what repairs may or may not be necessary for that particular TV. But yeah, just leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, and until the next one, thank you very much for watching.